evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. Postpone Constitution amendment to after 2026 CSOs. Police refute displacing late Sergeant MUMBA's wife. Government aims to live up to its promise of ending blackouts by June. In international news, 600 million people globally projected to remain in extreme poverty by 2030. And in sports news, Joshua KIMMICH extends BAYERN Munich's contract until 2029. Do join me with the details after this break.
Sunday is a very special day of the week, and it's a great time to find solace in prayer and fresh hope, spiritual growth, worship, fellowship, and encouragement. Would love to have your presence this Sunday, 16th of March 2025. Speakers, Apostle and Reverend Rose Simkonda. Time, 9 hours to 12 hours. Venue, Healing Word Ministries International, Ibex Hill, Kabulonga. For more details, contact or WhatsApp +260 962 965 883 or +260 979 753 010.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. A consortium of civil society organizations, CSOs, has called on the government to postpone the planned constitutional amendments until after the 2026 general elections. The CSOs cited concerns over the lack of consultation, absence of a clear and transparent roadmap, inadequate budget allocation, rushed reforms, and the complexity surrounding proportional representation. Speaking during a media briefing in Lusaka, Zambia Council for Social Development, ZCSD Executive Director Leah Mitaba challenged the government to clarify its motivations for pursuing constitutional amendments. She questioned whether the proposed changes genuinely aim to enhance inclusivity, such as increasing the representation of women and persons with disabilities in parliament and leadership positions, or if other interests are at play.
Concerns have continued to rise among civil society organizations and stakeholders in the country following remarks made by Republican President Hakainde Hichilema over the amendment of the Constitution. During the International Women's Day celebrations in Kasama, President Hichilema revealed that the country had agreed to amend the Constitution to ensure a proportional representation of women in parliament and other leadership positions. And on Youth Day, the President also revealed that the country already has a draft bill that youths have allegedly agreed to.
So here is my request to you. Keep the peace in this country. Don't be enticed by someone telling you, let's go in the streets to demonstrate. About what? About the Constitution. What is wrong with the Constitutional Amendment to bring more women and youth in Parliament? So you'll be demonstrating against your own interests. Nobody has even seen what is contained in the draft Constitution.
This development has since sparked controversy among stakeholders, with a consortium of civil society organizations today urging government to postpone the amendment process to after the 2026 general elections. The CSOs argue that the process has not been transparent as they have not been consulted and that the country does not have enough resources to facilitate for constitutional amendments.
My challenge as a woman in Zambia is for the government to tell us what is in it for them. They are telling me what is in need for me as a woman, that most likely they are going to increase the number of constituencies by 30. And when I do the mathematics, you add 30 to 166. It still doesn't give me gender parity, because in that 36, we are saying maybe there are women. So let's say there are 8 women. We are saying there are young people. Let's say there are 8 young people. We are saying there are people with disabilities. Let's say there are 8 people with disabilities and other minority groups in the other. Still, it doesn't bridge the youth gap. It doesn't bridge the gender gap. And I'm using 30 because previously that's what the PF was telling us. It was around 30 or a little over 30.
Zambia Council for Social Development, ZCSD Executive Director, Lia Mitaba, further questioned if the proposed changes genuinely aim to enhance inclusivity or have a hidden agenda behind them.
To deliver a constitution, not a party responsibility. And it should not be justified in the manner we are seeing it. We see quite a bit of impunity actually applied when we listen to people like Max Muwe and others who are justifying that a constitution was delivered in a similar manner by the Patriotic Front government. Now, if we are a learning country, a country that is espousing to deliver strong governance, good governance for that matter.
Meanwhile, Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, CSPR Executive Director, Isabel Mkerebai, expressed concern that government has allowed its party officials to justify the said amendments.
I just wanted to make it very clear that the concerns that we are raising today and this advocacy that we are doing on this issue, it is not coming from without. Okay, we did not just wake up one day and say, let's do a joint thing on the Constitution. These are things that we've been speaking about for a very long time. Okay, for a very long time. And some of the concerns that we are highlighting, we have seen these things happen with previous processes. There's been precedents that we have seen. So when we raise concerns around, the danger of political interests, taking over the process and it responding to such interests, it's not just things that we are dreaming up. These are things that we have seen in the past.
And Transparency International Zambia, TIZ Executive Director, Maurice Nyambe, highlighted the dangers of allowing political interests to influence the amendments. Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Osaka.
Operation Young Vote has called for the actualization of the Political Parties Act to ensure inclusion of young people for elective offices. In an interview, OYV Executive Director Ges Nyarenda says the operationalization of the Act will in the immediate allow the full participation of young people in elections. He says political parties' adoption teams must be compelled to take up young people, women and persons with disabilities if the electoral process is to be made inclusive. Mr. Nyarenda says young people eagerly want to participate but are rarely adopted by their parties, causing the low number of young people holding elective office.
In the immediate is to ensure that the political parties law is put in place. Remember Article 60 of the Constitution speaks about the political parties, and that article has not been promulgated. That article has not been made alive. It has not been given life. And for it to be given life, it means that articles, the legislation, an act of parliament must be passed in parliament, and that is the Political Parties Act. And the Political Parties Act should be the one to actually stipulate that 50% or 40%, whatever percentage of those who are nominated as candidates in any political party must be the young people. The other percentages must be women. The other percentages must be persons with disabilities. So that in itself makes it very possible to have young people in elective positions. And this for us is actually the most immediate and doable thing to actualize and give life to Article 60 of the Constitution. Yes, we know that politicians have a tendency of abusing young people, using young people as tools of political and electoral violence. And this is all because young people are desperate. Young people have no income. Young people have no money. If young people had better things to do, who would engage in violence? No one.
Zambia has received 1.17 million United States dollars from Japan for the procurement of critical mining equipment for the Geological Survey Department under the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Development. Speaking at the signing ceremony of the Japanese Grant Aid Project for Economic and Social Development Program, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Stumbeko Msokotwane, says the grant comes at an appropriate time when the country is intensifying efforts revitalizing the mining sector. He says the grant is a testament of the two countries' strong bilateral ties, and the new equipment will not only improve the accuracy and efficiency of geological surveys, but also attract further investment into Zambia's mining sector. Mr. Msokotwane emphasized that Zambia's mining sector is a cornerstone of the economy, contributing significantly to employment, foreign exchange earnings, and overall economic growth, and the Geological Survey Department plays a pivotal role in the sector by providing essential geological data and information. Residents of Lusaka's Kalingalinga compound have expressed doubt over the possible ending of load shedding in June as promised by the government. One of the residents, Emilia Piri, says the government should desist from making fake promises and work on the effectively returning normal supply of electricity to its citizens. The residents say government has made a number of ultimatums towards the supply of electricity, but to date none have been actualized.
For the past 1 year, Zambia has been grappling with the effects of power supply loss, with the country receiving only 2 to 3 hours of electricity while spending the rest of the time in darkness. Camnet News visited Kalingalinga compound, where residents have urged the government to fulfill its promises and supply the country with electricity to enable them run their businesses. Emilia Piri, a Kalingalinga resident, says the government should not make fake promises but instead fulfill what they say, stating that government has consistently failed to deliver its promises.
Bastuza bintu bazo ndati kutikira ndiyo titikule ndiyo kuli sitikula ndiyo zokula everyday zimafuta tabene market kankana ndrama pa mamake kupata takuliratu ndiyo not to see promise bintu perfect.
And Given Kabondo says he is elated that load shedding will finally come to an end this year, as it has affected many businesses. Meanwhile, another resident, Tamara Malunga, says that even if power is restored in June, things have already been destroyed because power only comes for 2 hours, which is useless.
Because monga kuno bantu shokelera mayodazi business ya luvana ero ndimwe bakunzisira abana ndimwe bajesera abana mumene umu so apa n'abantu bachita ma business yansoba bachita trust ma fridge bamba yakute bakafaka bintu bakala kwa siviwola so apa ikasira. I think it is a kondwera mwandine promise yawo iyo inkalirire soche basachite vina
nina nsomba ziziru mu ni fresh so kulibe kwa mene ninga yike tene chifo cha maraiti amena yokuti ni 2 hours maraiti yaenda manje oro vintu waika mu fridge kunga pano rive nine nagura bata ya manager muzi ya kusungunuka yonse ero nangoronga ide bata ngati asungunuka sima wama so apa nangu vanga ebwere ise nise wokumudwa maraiti anga bwere mjulai mwamene nise wokumudwa sise wokondwera 2 hours nangu maraiti ngati abwera ni 2 hours. Manye mtu tuwazi tizaika mwa vindu vingati oro TV atitambani news mzambo tuona pa news hivi vamene tuona pa news kulibe tingomvera chapa mang'ung'unyi ya bantu so kulibe na pamara tuona kwa kabare mjuni kuti wamiza isivina kwa zizawamiza amene wajamena ama tenga maraiti every now and then so ndiye marangu amene ngakambi kamene vanachita pinana kuika kudara.
As of 3rd March 2025, the lake water level at Kariba was at 476.89 meters, with a usable live storage volume of 6.28 billion cubic meters and a usable live storage capacity of 9.60%. Barbara Mlenga for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia Police Service has denied social media allegations that late Sergeant Mike MUMBA's wife was evicted from a police camp in State Lodge. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga says Sergeant MUMBA's legally recognized wife passed away 3 months before his death, and the listed beneficiaries remain in occupation of the police house. He adds that the woman in the viral video, identified as Messi Mwansa, was not legally married to MUMBA but had a child with him. The child, under 2 years old, has been under Mwansa's care with the support from the officer's family. The police has confirmed that house number H8 at State Lodge is still occupied by those officially recognized as MUMBA's dependents. The Zambia Police Service has urged the public and media to verify information before spreading unconfirmed reports.
The Zambia Police Service wishes to categorically refute the circulating allegations suggesting that the late Sergeant Mike MUMBA's wife was evicted from a police camp in State Lodge. According to our official records, the late Sergeant MUMBA lost his legally recognized wife 3 months prior to his passing. Furthermore, all listed beneficiaries on his personal file remain in occupation of the designated police camp house at State Lodge, house number H8. It has come to our attention through relatives currently residing in the said house that the woman featured in the viral video, Miss Messi Mwansa, had a child with the late Sergeant MUMBA. The child, who is under the age of 2 years, has reportedly been under the care of Messi Mwansa, and the deceased's family have been providing for the child's upkeep. The Zambia Police Service acknowledges the challenges that bereaved families may face and remains committed to ensuring that due process is followed in handling matters concerning the welfare of deceased officers' dependents. However, we urge media houses and the general public to verify information before disseminating unverified claims that may mislead the public and cause unnecessary distress. For further inquiries or verification of official records, we encourage the media to liaise with the Zambia Public Relations Office.
Government has underscored its commitment to end all forms of child marriages through effective legal and policy frameworks. Ministry of Community Development and Social Services Permanent Secretary Ms. Angela Kawandami emphasized the need for renewed stakeholder commitment to end child early and forced marriages by 2030. She acknowledges Zambia's progress in community-based initiatives, awareness-raising legal reforms, public policies, and educational campaigns, but notes that millions of girls are still married before the age of 18. Ms. Kawandami stressed the importance of evidence-based community interventions and collaboration at international, regional, national, and local levels to accelerate efforts to end child marriages. She also highlighted the need to prioritize and amplify the voices of adolescent girls.
Millions of girls worldwide, we are grateful to be part of this very important conversation. We also extend our sincere thanks to all our partners, experts, and advocates who have worked tirelessly to spotlight this issue. Your dedication is invaluable in ensuring that girls are not subjected to child marriage. Furthermore, I would like to particularly thank Canada for co-leading the resolution on ending early, forced, and child marriage during the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The adoption of the resolution, supported by 125 countries, was a historic milestone in the global effort to address child marriage. Zambia is proud to have been part of this achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, reflecting on the Beijing Declaration, we celebrate the significant progress made over the past 30 years in raising awareness about child marriage, including legal reforms, public policies, and educational campaigns. However, despite these efforts, millions of girls are still married before the age of 18, often in silence and with little regard for their rights, health, and future. The young ladies we have had the privilege to be with in this room, Chi-Chi, Loveness, and Muma, those are outliers. That's not the usual situation.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Gary Nkombo has called on members of Parliament to support the delimitation process to facilitate more effective development across various constituencies. Mr. Nkombo emphasized that with the increase in the Constituents Development Fund, CDF, dividing larger constituencies into smaller segments would enable more equitable and efficient distribution of resources. He noted that smaller constituencies would be better positioned to receive double allocations from the CDF, thereby accelerating local development initiatives. The minister highlighted the critical role of the CDF in driving development at the grassroots level, stressing that proper segmentation would ensure that resources reach communities more effectively.
We are sending 36.1 million kwacha to every constituency, 156 of them, on a yearly basis, for the people down there to give priority to the things that they want to happen in their respective jurisdictions. So the issue of tarmac, it is a necessity. It is a necessity. I'm dreaming of a day when Chiengi will have tarmac. There, she's smiling. I'm dreaming of that day when, you know, Nchelenge will have tarmac. And part of getting this right, Madam Speaker, as I finish, is to agree that we must walk this walk of breaking the constituencies into smaller units. Nchelenge, Kasempa, Kaputa, they need to be delimitated. We need to break them so that there's no stress in giving representation to our people. Because if Nchelenge is broken into two, it means it will be receiving 72 or 73 million kwacha per annum. What will be difficult about bringing development to the people of Nchelenge? Because from that money, which is half today, it will be double tomorrow. I will take this platform to request all well-meaning members of Parliament, regardless of whether your constituency is small like Mazabuka, to support the delimitation agenda so that we can bring development to our people expressly.
The Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, has urged broadcasting stations that have not yet paid their 2025 annual operating fees to do so by 31st March 2025. The authority discloses that out of the 191 stations licensed by the authority, 33 have not yet settled their statutory obligations, which is contrary to Section 22, Clause 5C of the IBA Amendment Act Number 26 of 2010, which requires stations to pay an annual fee to the authority. These fees are due on January 1st each year. IBA Acting Director General Mrs. Susan Domingo made the call as an ongoing effort to engage with broadcasters, strengthening partnerships and ensure compliance with broadcasting regulations. Residents in Lusaka's Mtendere compound have condemned the use of powdered tobacco, commonly known as nsunko, among women in society. The residents say young women should not partake in the use of the substance at a young age. One of the residents, Ida Mwanza, says nsunko has no health benefits, but instead poses serious health risks. Powdered tobacco has for a long time been the preserve of the elderly people in society who believe to use it to cure minor illnesses.
In the Zambia culture, powdered tobacco, also known as nsunko, has for a long time been the preserve of the elderly women and men in society who use it as a cure for various illnesses such as headaches. But in the last few years, nsunko has become popular among Zambian women between the age of 15 and 45. The practice has sparked debate among residents of Lusaka's Mtendere compound who strongly disagree with the myths that surround the use of powdered tobacco.
munga ndiwafwaka palibe pamene ipindula vantu vangu vamaikonda timasiriza kumatenda kulibe mvapoza.
Meanwhile, Ida Mwanza has emphasized that it has no health benefit, but instead complicates one's health and changes the color of one's teeth. As the debate continues over the benefit and disadvantage of sunko, the World Health Organization says powdered tobacco affects the color of one's teeth, turning them yellow, leading to tooth decay and infection, can also be harmful during pregnancy and cause cancer, among others.
Nimavera tabeba zimai amene amapepa sungu venango akambati mankwala ya BP venango akambati ngati wa mwamuwa ukole wa fasti venango akambati mankwala ya bakazi maiveninga akampepa zona sinizio ngozi amene mapepa chani sungu ndima unechebe ukamwona mkazi wamene apepa sungu ola kujia bakudya ungambiri na nyanza avifaka mukamwa vimenu vuoneka vinangu mumpundo vimamina vinangu vinimavira na nyasa nikole muntu amene apepa sungo mkazi sema oneka pona bwino ero vina uvika koye wati vikole wesa fasti nga ukumwa mowa waikapona sungo ati ukole wa fasti.
Miriam Kansenga reporting for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Nalolo Council Chairperson Lima Kazo Kolio has called on residents in Nalolo District to get interested in the ongoing entrepreneurship training seriously. Mr. Limakazo said more than 400 people who have benefited from the constituents' development funds have not utilized the money for intended purposes as they shared it out. He further said with the entrepreneurship skill and resources management training, the people in the constituency have undergone funds will be utilized well. He further urged Virgins and Male Circumcision Empowerment Zambia to continue empowering people in his constituency with entrepreneurship knowledge.
In order to alleviate poverty levels amongst the community, government is supplementing the community with grants and loans. In regards to that, Virgins and Male Circumcision Empowerment Zambia has come up with entrepreneurship training to supplement government effort in equipping community members with the skills. Speaking during the handover of certificate to more than 200 participants in Nalolo Council Chairperson Makazo Kolokolo, who officiated at the event, is optimistic with the training offered by Virgins and Male Circumcision Empowerment Zambia that it will help the beneficiaries to utilize the funds well.
These skills and business trainings that you've received will help to improve the businesses and reduce the challenges that you are facing as communities. In this regard, Nalolo Town Council has partnered with the VMCEZ to conduct these trainings in entrepreneurship skills in order to equip you with knowledge on how you can use the money once you've been empowered. Entrepreneurship training, which has equipped our members with financial literacy, critical thinking, and dream big. Hence, with this knowledge acquired, our people through their clubs as beneficiaries of the grants from the government will make good use of their resources and to bring development in our district.
And the Virgins and Male Circumcision Empowerment Zambia Director Simon Movita had this to say.
As an organization, we have been working with the government through the Ministry of Local Government in ensuring that members from wards or zones are equipped with entrepreneurship skills. So we want to assure you that the people of Nalolo district won't be sharing money upon being empowered. We want to appeal to you, sir, that through the Constituency Development Fund, then these people should be considered for the empowerment because they have the skills to run their businesses.
Meanwhile, the area chief Indop, Muyali Anganga, and the area councillor added their voices.
Tabetune kuli mangolo mufira asika aba mangolo akasiala makotamo haka abafera deko ya mwandu kono tuto ya mina musike mulute ni baba mbatu bomukafumana baba sky tuta.
This program has come at the right time because our members lacked this information. In addition of this training in entrepreneurship, has equipped our members in financial literacy.
Seo Kabira, Camnet News in Naroro District, Western Province.
You're watching the main news on Camnet TV. We now take a break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Sunday is a very special day of the week, and it's a great time to find solace in prayer and fresh hope, spiritual growth, worship, fellowship, and encouragement. Would love to have your presence this Sunday, 16th of March 2025. Speakers, Apostle and Reverend Rose Simkonda. Time, 9 hours to 12 hours. Venue, Healing Word Ministries International, Ibex Hill, Kabulonga. For more details, contact or WhatsApp +260 962 965 883 or +260 979 753 010.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now for the rest of the news. In international news, with nearly 600 million people projected to remain in extreme poverty by 2030 and developing countries facing annual sustainable development financing gaps of up to $4 trillion. Officials have raised concerns that global development cooperation system is failing to meet urgent needs. Speaking at the opening of the forum, Ray emphasized the necessity for development cooperation to extend beyond United Nations and state-led initiatives. He called for the integration of international financial institutions, IFIs, and private sector contributions to address the growing challenges. Here's a roundup of international news.
At the UN's Development Corporation Forum in New York, world leaders have been calling for urgent reforms to the global development system, with nearly 600 million people projected to remain in extreme poverty by 2030.
Too many countries are burdened with unsustainable debt, shrinking physical space, and fragmented development system that does not align with urgent needs and priorities. In this dysfunctional system, women and girls bear the heaviest burdens, facing disproportionate impacts that threaten to erase decades of hard-earned progress on gender equality. This trajectory is unsustainable. A major paradigm shift is needed.
The forum warns, without reform, the most vulnerable will suffer. Leaders will continue the discussion at the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development this year.
Hundreds of children return to their education in Gaza despite several schools still laying in ruins. The majority of schools in the Gaza Strip have been destroyed by Israeli air raids since October 2023, and many families have also fled their homes, becoming refugees in their region. In the post-war, as you can see, we are living on the ruins of schools, but we are trying to salvage what we can be salvaged of the educational process, so that this generation doesn't slip through our fingers. We are able to reopen some schools so that students could enroll and return to their education path. Last year, over 39,000 students were unable to take their final test in school education known as Tawjihi. Some children resorted to online learning during the war. The children's future is ruined. Since the war began, we have suffered greatly when it comes to education in general. There used to be schools and the children follow lessons directly from their teachers, but now there are no schools. All the schools were destroyed by the occupation. The children stopped going to school, and even if you tell them to come read or study, they won't accept. The war has killed more than 48,000 Palestinians and wounded over 111,000 others, according to the health ministry in Gaza, with also thousands still remaining in refugee centers.
For almost a week, Niger's service stations have been short of enough premium fuel to meet local demand. As a result, long queues of cars and motorbikes have been forming at those that do have a supply. Fuel is rationed by the Niger Petroleum Company, Sonidep, and some people say this does not make their day-to-day activities any easier. I left Banifandu and came all the way to Bukoki, and they told me there was no petrol. Now someone has just called me to tell me to come to Wadata, someone with a litre of petrol. For 2 or 3 litres you have to waste a litre and a half. It's a nightmare. It's an unusual experience for Nigerians. An oil-rich country, its first refinery was built in 2011. Today, due to a number of factors, it's unable to meet the national demand estimated at over 2 million litres a day. Some people worry about the lack of transparency in fuel management. We don't have much information on this because the authorities, who are obliged to give us full explanations, are not doing so. We're at a loss. We don't have any real information. While Sonidep blames the situation on a stock shortage, this argument is dismissed by transport operators who are the most impacted. In addition to the scarcity of fuel, they're seeing their number of clients go down. The Taxi and Urban Transport Drivers Union believes the state should increase daily production to meet demand. We think that the state must take a step forward in terms of production, because if we're told that there are 25 trucks for the city of Niamey, I don't think that's enough. Today, as soon as they stop oil smuggling, everyone goes to the pumps. And when everyone's at the pumps, what's there can't be enough. Tanker trucks are expected to increase from 24 to 100 a day in the capital alone. The organizations are also calling on the government to open the borders with Benin and Nigeria to access temporary supplies.
Joshua Kimmich has committed his future to Bayern Munich, signing a new contract that will keep him at the club until 2029. The 30-year-old midfielder, who was said to become a free agent this summer, had been the subject of the transfer speculation, with Arsenal reportedly expressing interest and Paris Saint-Germain submitting an official offer, according to Sky Germany. However, after ongoing negotiations, Kimmich had opted to extend his stay at Bayern, a club he first joined in 2015. Over the past decade, the Germany captain has enjoyed significant success, winning 8 Bundesliga titles, the UEFA Champions League and the FIFA Club World Cup. Speaking on his contract extension, Kimmich said that he has at FC Bayern achieved his sporting goals. That's it for our main news tonight. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Postpone Constitution amendment to after 2026 CSOs. Police refute displacing late Sergeant MUMBA's wife. Government urged to live up to its promise of ending blackouts by June. In international news, 600 million people globally projected to remain in extreme poverty by 2030. And in sports news, Joshua Kimmich extends Bayern Munich's contract until 2029. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Esther 4, verse 14. For if altogether holdest peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place, but thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you all.
Sunday is a very special day of the week, and it's a great time to find solace in prayer and fresh hope, spiritual growth, worship, fellowship, and encouragement. Would love to have your presence this Sunday, 16th of March 2025. Speakers, Apostle and Reverend Rose Simkonda. Time, 9 hours to 12 hours. Venue, Healing Word Ministries International, Ibex Hill, Kabulonga. For more details, contact or WhatsApp +260 962 965 883 or +260 979 753 010.